Now the masked magician will perform a trick known as the Mismatched Girl. He opens the boxes one door at a time to show you that there is no place to hide. Out comes the assistant. She's pretty well put together, but that doesn't mean he won't tamper with perfection. She steps inside the box and he closes the doors. He opens the top panel to show you that she is still inside. The box is spun around so you can see that she hasn't escaped through a back panel. I can tell you for a fact that she hasn't. Now the magician inserts the blades. They are made of solid steel and are designed to separate each of the boxes. It seems as if our assistant is being cut into pieces. Those boxes must be soundproof because I don't hear her screaming. Once the blades are in position, the boxes are taken down one at a time. Now the magician will attempt to reassemble his assistant. But he seems to have forgotten which box goes where. Oh well, he'll give it a try anyway. He opens the bottom box. There are her feet, right where they should be. He opens another box. So far, so good. Now the top box. Uh-oh. What are her thighs doing way up there? And what is her head doing down below? Something's not right. Looks like he's put the boxes back in the wrong order. Time for another try. The boxes are taken down again. Learning from his mistakes, the magician begins to reassemble the boxes. Now I think he's got it. One by one, he removes the blades. I hope he's got it right this time. It'd be a shame to mess up a body like that. Finally, the doors are opened, and there she is, all in one piece. Wondering how it was done? Don't worry, here are the secrets. First, the assistant is loaded into the box. The magician opens the top door to show you that she is really inside and standing upright. He closes the door and the boxes are spun around. Inside, our assistant drops down and hides in a secret compartment in the bottom of the box. Below her, there's a trap door containing 2 mannequin feet. I bet you can figure out why. She puts the feet into position as if they were her own. The feet are dressed in stockings identical to those worn by the assistant to make the illusion seem more convincing. While the magician inserts the blades, our assistant gets into position. She uses a black cloth to conceal her body. Just before the bottom blade is pushed in, she squeezes herself into the bottom box. Look how close the blade comes to her shoulder. One by one, the boxes are taken down. The colored stars on the sides of the boxes help the magician correctly assemble them. Each box has a front and a back side. The front is where the assistant hides, and the back is where the mannequin is. See the fake thighs? The boxes are turned so the parts of the mannequin are now in front. When the first door is opened, you are actually seeing the mannequin's legs and not the assistant's. The same is true with the torso. It's dressed just like our assistant. And no, those are not real thighs. Meanwhile, the assistant's head pops into the second box so she can give that confused look. But if there's a solid steel blade between the boxes, then how does her head manage to get through? Take a look. There's a secret panel in the bottom blade that opens up. See? Now there's room for her head. The magician shuts the doors. As soon as that happens, the assistant closes the secret panel, then hides back inside the bottom box. While the other assistants are busy taking down and reassembling the boxes, our assistant inside is busy putting the mannequin legs back into the secret compartment. When the first blade is removed, she begins to stand upright so she can finish the trick. The final blade is removed. The magician opens the doors. The assistant steps out, and the illusion is complete.
Magicians are known to put their gorgeous assistants in danger for the sake of entertainment. The Masked Man is no exception. In fact, he's mastered the art. Here's his latest torture device, a cabinet that's divided in three. If I know the masked magician, one of his beautiful girls will meet the same fate. Here she is now. Well, the outfit's a two-piece, so she's more than halfway there. And it looks like she knows what's expected of her as she heads straight for the back door of the box. Now that she's inside, we're deprived of her ravishing good looks. So the magician opens a peephole for us to see what we're missing. She's not that happy to see us. Maybe she knows what's coming. Now, for her left hand and a little wave. What a tease. And down at the bottom, her right foot. The fishnets are a nice touch. Let's hope we can see them again, along with the legs that go with them. Before things get dangerous, we have to say goodbye to the pretty lady. See you soon. But the magician knows we need someone to look at, so here comes another girl. This one is bearing gifts. 2 razor-sharp stainless steel blades. If you're playing along at home, you've probably figured that the blades would be inserted into the cabinet, and the girl inside. Usually when a blade goes into a body, the insides come outside. Let's hope that doesn't happen here. That's one blade. Now for number 2. This one is at the right height to separate the fishnets from the rest of her. With a little luck, this will only be a trial separation. As if the girl in the box hasn't had enough abuse, the magician slides the center of the cabinet to one side, dividing up her assets. Let's see if the girl is still inside, and what condition her condition is in. Beautiful as ever, and still breathing in and out, as impossible as that seems. Let's see if the rest of her is fully operational. The hand seems to be functioning and ready to be used for its intended purpose. Now for the lower extremities. The foot is still there and the toes work. This is either one amazing trick or one messed up girl. The magician seems to agree, so he slides the center section back in place. But remember, even with her middle back where it belongs, the girl is still divided by the steel blades. Until now. There goes the top blade. Now to head downstairs for the bottom one. Time to check the damage. No marks on her face, but she doesn't seem too thrilled, so let's let her out. There she is, still in one magnificent piece and an equally magnificent two-piece. Now that's a great trick. So, how did the magician slice his beautiful assistant in 3 sections right before our very eyes, only to put her back in one stunning piece? The secret is also right before our eyes. When the magician slides the center section of the box to the side, we're not looking through the cabinet, we're looking at a mirror. There is a screen set up to the right of the box that is identical to the screen behind the box. The mirror creates an image that fills in the center of the box that is an exact duplicate of what we think is behind the box. So from the front, it appears that we are looking right through the box to the screen behind. When it appears that her middle is being dragged off to one side, it's actually staying in the same place, right behind the mirror. From behind, we see that there is just enough space for the girl to hide. But what about the sharp steel blades that were pushed into the box? They look solid, but they're really just flexible sheet metal. When the magician inserts the top blade, the girl inside the box is simply bending it down away from her torso. When he inserts blade number 2, the girl is gracefully bending it out of the way with her leg. See it coming down from behind the mirror? This allows her room to stick her foot out of the hole when the magician opens the little door. Now for the next secret. How does the center of her body appear to move to the side along with the center of the box? After all, we saw her left hand through the hole. That's all she was willing to show us. The cabinet has a secret trap door inside that gives the girl access to the hole. When the center section has been pulled out to the side, she reaches her left arm across her body through the secret panel and sticks her hand out of the hole. From the front, the illusion that the girl's midsection has been removed is pretty convincing. All the magician has to do now is reverse the process and let her come out for air. Much to her relief, and ours, another beautiful girl who stays that way, with the help of a mirror. The magician will now attempt an incredibly dangerous balancing act in hopes of avoiding disastrous results. He begins by showing off this arrangement of antique iron spikes. These are the same spikes found protecting medieval castles, haunted mansions, and Gothic cemeteries. They're all very sharp and very lethal. In the days of the knights, these spikes were used to impale dangerous lawbreakers and reviled enemies. Tonight, he'll use them to perform a perilous illusion, with the help of this very lovely lady. She looks pretty dangerous too. Pretty and dangerous. That's a combination that's perfect for a trick like this. He calls in the help of 2 male assistants in the event this girl is too much for one masked man to handle. As he puts her into a deep trance, the men lift her onto the tallest spike, balancing her precariously on its iron tip. The magician continues to conjure, being careful not to let the girl slip out of her trance. Ouch. The girl has been impaled by the spike. The tip has plunged all the way through her stomach, coming out the other side. This is a case for workers' comp if she somehow survives. Still, even pierced by the stiff iron rod, she manages to look graceful and gorgeous. Maybe this was the magician's plan all along. To stab a girl in the back by magic. What did this dangerous beauty do to deserve such a painful punishment? And is she past the point of no return? Let's find out. The men help lift her off the spike as she awakens from her trance. Finally, the girl slept through it and came out unharmed. And look at that. She doesn't even hold a grudge. Maybe women do like bad boys after all. But just because she survived looking as incredible as before doesn't mean you should try anything like this at home. After all, this was just an illusion, and they know the secrets. We just saw the masked magician place his stunning assistant on the point of an iron spike and impale her. So how did he do it? Here are the secrets. When the illusion begins, the magician displays the collection of imposing-looking iron spikes. The spikes appear to be deadly sharp and quite dangerous. But on closer inspection, we can see that the pointy iron tips are actually made of foam rubber. They look lethal, but they're really quite harmless. They're as soft and pliable as a bath sponge or a toy bow and arrow set. The center spike contains some bigger secrets. When the assistant is placed on the spike, it appears that the spike goes right through her beautiful body. But if you look closely, you can see that the tip of this spike retracts into the shaft. When the assistant is placed on top, the point simply sinks down inside the spike, which is really a sturdy hollow pipe. Beneath her costume, the assistant is wearing a special harness that rests against the small of her back and has a socket that fits over the end of the phony spike. Without her fancy dress on, we see how easy it is to make the magic happen. When the men lift her, the magician guides the socket to the top of the spike. From this angle, we can see the moment the tip retracts and the harness attaches to the pipe. While the steel pipe and harness support her back, the girl must use her tremendous abdominal strength to keep her shoulders and legs up. This is the result of hours in the gym. Next, when the magician makes his magical gesture, the girl appears to be impaled by the spike. But how? Hidden inside the spike is a spring-loaded piston which retracts into itself. This lowers the assistant down, creating the illusion that the spike is being driven into her. See? She's actually just going for a ride as the piston slides the pipe down over itself. There is a release cable that runs from off-stage to the base of the spike. Off-stage, a stagehand controls the action. The girl is loaded onto the fake spike, and the stagehand waits for his cue. The magician motions, the stagehand pulls the cable, releases the piston, and the spike lowers the girl. If you look closely, you can even see the cable as it's pulled. We're so busy watching the girl being impaled that we don't even notice. But if the girl and the spike are lowered at the same time, how does the tip of the spike appear to puncture her stomach? The assistant has a duplicate spike tip that attaches to a magnet on the front of her harness. See? It's just strapped on. Her careful timing when placing the tip creates the illusion that the duplicate tip is actually being driven through her. As she's being positioned on the pipe, the girl removes the extra tip from a secret pocket in her costume and conceals it in her hand. Notice that she keeps her hands directly above her abdomen until the tip appears to puncture her. This is to hide the fact that she's securing the tip to the magnet. Once the piston lowers and the tip is attached, all she has to do is let her arms fall and reveal the tip. The illusion that she is impaled is very convincing. But how does the spike appear to be its original height once the girl is lifted off? A hidden pedal operates a hydraulic lift inside the pipe. It works like a dentist chair, raising the spike back up. The assistant removes the fake tip and hides it in her palm as she's removed from the spike. All she has to do now is join the magician and accept half the applause for doing most of the work. And now, you know the secrets. For centuries, magicians have been making audiences believe that they have mastered the art of levitation. Tonight, the masked magician proves yet again that it's all one big trick. His beautiful lady is all dressed up, but she's got nowhere to go. He wants her right where she is, on this ordinary wooden plank. She dutifully stretches out on the plank and makes herself comfortable. But one girl isn't enough for our masked man, so he calls in some backup. His assistant removes the center pedestal from beneath the plank so that it's now supported only by the two chairs. Looks like it can hold her. Another assistant joins the party, and they all engage in some mystical movements. I guess this puts him in the mood. On his command, the two assistants remove the chairs, leaving the plank and the lady suspended in midair. It's as if she's floating on a cloud, made of solid oak. The magician waves his arms above her to prove that there are no hidden wires. And now the camera will travel all the way around back to prove that there's nothing supporting her from the rear. This levitation is impossible to explain. The magician keeps waving his arms, and yes, she and the wood plank are still floating. He calls the other assistants back in, and they replace the two chairs. Next, he beckons for the center pedestal. When it's in place, he makes a few more passes to awaken Sleeping Beauty. She's pretty when she just wakes up. And there you have it, one of the oldest tricks in the book. But what's the secret? How does the magician make it look like the lady is floating in midair, even from this backstage angle? You're about to find out. The first trick is getting a beautiful woman to lie down on a wooden plank. But the real trick is hidden behind the center pedestal. When the assistant removes the pedestal, it appears that the only things holding up the plank and the girl are the two chairs. The truth is, you're staring right at the secret. Cleverly hidden in the magician's pants is a third leg. There it is, strong as a rock. You'll see how it works in a minute. When the assistants remove the two chairs, it looks like the girl on the plank is floating. From the back, his right leg hides the support in the third leg. But from this angle, you can see that the fake leg is supporting the plank. Here it is before the trick begins, waiting for the magician to step into position. For a closer look, the girl removes the fake leg. From the back, it looks like he should fire his tailor. Now here's the plank supported by the steel brace. When the fake leg is in place, you'd never suspect it was there. And that's how the magician creates the illusion that a gorgeous young woman can float through life with no visible means of support. A medieval torture device. The magician is quite proud of this antique apparatus. And why wouldn't he be? It's an egg-shaped cage made of forged bands of iron. It's empty now, but knowing the magician, this cage won't be empty for long. He calls in two of his assistants who come bearing a small rack. They lift the cage from its heavy-duty mount and place it down on the rack. Here they can remove the hardened steel pins that secure the two halves of the cage. With the front half of the cage removed, we can see how something or someone can be placed inside. Here's someone now, and she's something. The girl assumes the position inside the back half of the cage, and it looks like there is barely enough room for her to make the tight squeeze. Now, two male assistants enter. As she steadies herself, they replace the front of the cage, trapping her inside. I'm getting uneasy just looking at the situation. The steel pins are replaced, and she struggles to find a comfortable arrangement. There isn't one. The male assistants lift the cage and place it into the heavy mount, along with its beautiful cargo. What happens next is anyone's guess. The magician removes the steel pins again and opens the clasps. The two halves separate, but the girl inside isn't going anywhere. His other assistants now cover the sections of the cage with heavy pieces of black canvas. They're careful to stretch the fabric tightly around the cage. Inside, you can bet that the cage is cramped and dark, and no place for a lovely lady to spend an evening alone. The magician motions for another assistant. This one comes bearing a razor-sharp crosscut saw. Just when you thought this device couldn't get any more torturous. The magician steps behind the cage, and you got it. He begins to saw between the two halves, and presumably the girl. This just isn't her day. It seems like he's having a hard time of it. She looked like a tough cookie. Remember, she's strapped inside with nowhere to go. He's made it all the way through and removes the saw. The assistants regroup. One takes the saw as the others remove the canvas. And there's the beautiful girl in the iron cage. Uncomfortable, but unharmed. So how did the magician make it look like the girl in the cage was sliced in two? Here are the secrets. The cage is, in fact, as sturdy as it appears. It's got to be in order to safely hold the girl inside. When she kneels down to climb in, she arches her back to fill the cage and make it look even harder than it is. As the halves are secured, she keeps her back arched, and the cage looks almost too small to contain her. But when she bends down, we can see that this is only an illusion. She has more room than we imagine. Once the cage is in its mount, the girl has plenty of room to roll over onto her back. In this position, she's able to slide some of the metal straps away, allowing her to drop down out of the bottom. As he saws, the magician uses his skills as a mime to make it look like he's struggling to cut through flesh and bone. In reality, the girl has rotated onto her back, slipped out of the secret metal bands, and lowered herself safely below the path of the saw. Who says show business isn't glamorous? Here's a look at her movements without the canvas. See, there are two sections that have been rigged to secretly slide away and give her enough room to slip down. In this provocative position, she's in no danger of being touched by the saw blade as it appears to cut through the gap in the cage. Good thing, because this is a real saw and it does cut close. However, the teeth have been filed down to nothing with a power grinder, just to be on the safe side. By the time the assistants remove the fabric, the girl inside has replaced the sliding metal bands, flipped back onto her knees, and waits to once again fill the cage with her loveliness. And those are the secrets. We should warn you not to attempt the magician's next dangerous trick, which involves this very imposing-looking sword. To prove that it's real, he plunges the sword into an apple, impaling it. He slices the apple in two and offers half to his assistant. She doesn't seem amused. He tosses his half away, then hers. You can bet someone else cleans up the secret warehouse. A little more conjuring to get his girl in the mood. And he thrusts the sword into her stomach, then straight through her body. No wonder he didn't let her eat the apple first. You can see the sword is completely through her torso. The magician removes it, gives the girl another magical wave, and all is forgiven. This guy has all the right moves. So how does the magician plunge the sword through the girl's body without killing her in cold blood? The first secret is in the sword. Actually, there are two of them. This one couldn't kill a fly. It's incredibly flexible. That's because it's made from two pieces of an ordinary tape measure that have been attached face to face. See? It bends at the slightest touch. So if it's that flexible, how did he impale the apple? That's where the second sword comes in. This one is solid. It's sharp and stiff. Very stiff, as his assistant is eager to prove. While our attention was focused on the sliced apple, his assistant was secretly pulling a switch. Here we can see her trading the real sword for the fake, flexible one. But how does the tape measure sword pass through the body of the girl? You guessed it, it doesn't. The secret is concealed by her costume. This trendy corset and sash combo isn't just making a bold fashion statement. It's hiding a flat metal tube that conforms to the girl's waist. From behind, you can see the back of the tube. To impale the girl, the magician inserts the end of the fake sword into the mouth of the tube. He pushes it into the tube, and it appears to pass through the girl. In reality, it's traveling through the tube, around her waist, and out the backside. Close examination reveals that the sword looks much shorter now than it did before entering the tube. Here's what the metal tube looks like without the corset. See? It's been formed around the girl's waist to provide a channel for the sword. The sword goes in one side, bends through the channel, and eventually comes out the other side. You can see that the girl is never in any real danger. And that's how the magician impales the same girl over and over, without running out of assistance or running from the law.